Go to your window tonight, just after the sun goes down, and look low to the west. The moon is there again, a little more than she was last night. Not dramatically more. Not all at once. Just one more thin sliver of light. And here is the strange, quiet thing I want you to notice before we begin. She got brighter without trying harder. She didn't force it. She didn't strain, or push, or demand of herself that she be full by morning. She simply came back, the way she always does, one small increment of light at a time. So let me ask you the question this whole letter turns on. What if the thing you keep trying to force is the very thing you were meant to gently feed instead? Tonight is July 17th, 2026, and this is your moon letter for the growing light. The waxing crescent, 8% full now, still tender, still new, still held in the sheltering sign of Cancer. Last night you protected a small beginning. Tonight the sky shows you what happens next. It grows. But only if you stop uprooting it to check. In the next few minutes, I want to show you why we force the things we should feed when old and gentle wisdom knew about how living things actually grow, and the one small practice that turns a fragile start into something that lasts. This is about you. Let's open it. So look at her properly tonight, this growing crescent. Just after sunset, low in the west, a fine curve of light. 8% illuminated now, a little fuller than the barest thread you saw last night, but still so far from whole. She sets quickly, so you have to catch her early, in that soft blue window before full dark. And notice what she is doing, because it is the whole teaching of tonight, written in light. She grew. In 24 hours, she went from 3% to 8%. She nearly tripled her light. And she did it without any of the things we think growth requires.
No forcing.
No panic that she wasn't full yet. No digging herself up at midnight to check whether the growing was really working. She simply returned and let one more sliver of light be added quietly on time. She is still in Cancer, the sign of the shell, the home, the tender protector of young things. So this is a sheltered growing, a safe and unhurried unfolding. The crescent is not rushing toward the full moon. She trusts the 2 weeks it takes. She adds her light the way water wears a stone. Not with force, but with return. And tonight she is asking you to consider that everything real in your life might grow in exactly the same way. The energy of a growing crescent is the energy of the second day of anything. And the second day is where most of us quietly give up. The first day of a new beginning has a kind of magic to it. You're inspired, you plant the seed, it feels meaningful. But the second day and the third and the 10th, when the thing is still small, still unimpressive, still not obviously working, that is where the real test lies. And here is the exact trap this crescent is warning you about tonight. The moment we start something, a restless voice wakes up inside us and begins to ask, is it working yet? Is it bigger yet? Do I feel different yet? And every time we ask that question, we do the equivalent of pulling a seedling out of the soil to inspect its roots. We check a new habit for results after 3 days. We look for proof our healing is finished before it has even begun. We measure the tender thing against a full moon and, finding it still a sliver, we decide it has failed, and we abandon it. But growth does not happen in the checking. It happens in the returning. The crescent did not get brighter because she monitored her progress. She got brighter because she showed up again. Tonight's energy asks you to stop measuring and start feeding. To trust that the small thing you are tending is growing in the dark, unseen, exactly like roots, and that your only job, tonight, is not to force it fuller, but to come back to it once more. Feed it. Don't force it. And whatever you do, stop digging it up to see if it's alive. In human design, the sun is still moving through gate 62, the gate of detail, of finding the exact and honest word for a thing. And tonight it hands you the key that makes all of this possible. Gate 62 is sometimes called the preponderance of the small, the teaching that the tiny, precise, unglamorous things are the ones that quietly run the world. And tonight it turns that gift toward the small thing you are trying to grow. Here is what this gate knows. A beginning survives not when it is big, but when it is named. When you can point to the exact small thing, this specific habit, this one honest sentence, this single 5-minute practice, and say it plainly, it becomes real enough to protect and repeat. Vagueness is where beginnings die. I'm going to change my whole life is too big to feed. It has no edges, nothing to return to. But tonight, I will write one true line in my journal that is edges. That is small enough to actually do, and precise enough to do again tomorrow. This is the marriage of the crescent and the gate. The moon shows you that growth is incremental, and gate 62 shows you that the increments must be named to be kept. So tonight, don't reach for the grand transformation. Reach for the one small, exact, repeatable thing, and name it out loud with the precision of someone who knows that what you can name, you can return to. So let's go to the root of it. Why we are so quick to force the very things that only grow by feeding. Why the second day is so hard. The honest answer is that most of us were raised in the religion of intensity. We were taught that results come from effort, that more effort means more results, and that if something isn't working, the answer is always to push harder. It's the logic of the sprint, the all-nighter, the grand gesture, the total life overhaul that starts on Monday. And for certain things, a deadline, one hard push, that logic works. But for anything alive, a habit, a healing, a relationship with yourself, a quiet returning to who you are, the logic of force is not just wrong, it is fatal. Because living things do not respond to force. They respond to consistency and to safety. Think of what forcing actually looks like in your life. You decide to heal, and then you are furious with yourself 3 days later for not being healed yet. You start a gentle new practice, and then you demand it show visible results by the weekend, or you quit. You plant something tender in yourself, and then, driven by that restless need for proof, you pull it up again and again to check the roots, and you cannot understand why nothing ever takes. Here is the truth almost no one says out loud. It was never your lack of potential that killed those beginnings. It was your impatience. It was the forcing, the comparing of your day 2 sliver to someone else's full and finished moon, and the quiet contempt that followed. Most of what you have tried to grow did not die from weakness. It died from being rushed. And the crescent, growing so gently tonight without forcing anything at all, is the softest possible rebuke to everything the religion of intensity ever taught you. So, if forcing is not the way, what is? For this, we can turn to one of the oldest and gentlest wisdoms on earth. 2,500 years ago, in the Taoist tradition, Lao Tzu offered a line that has outlived every empire since, because it is simply true. Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Sit with that for a moment. Nature does not hurry. The crescent does not rush. The sea does not strain. The river does not force its way to the sea. It simply keeps moving, taking the shape of whatever it meets, and arrives without ever once hurrying. The Taoists had a name for this, Wu Wei. It is often translated as non-doing, but that is misleading. It does not mean doing nothing. It means effortless action. Action so aligned with the grain of things that it stops feeling like force. It is the difference between shoving a door that opens inward and simply drawing it toward you. The same door, but one way exhausts you, and the other way opens. This is how real growth works in a human life, and our modern world is only rediscovering what the Tao knew all along. Think of bamboo. For years after it's planted, almost nothing shows above the soil, and then, in a single season, it shoots up many meters, because all that unseen time it was growing roots deep enough to hold the height that was coming. Think of the smallest daily habit, repeated, forgettable on any single night, and yet, compounded across a year, quietly life-changing. The pattern is always the same. Real growth happens small. It happens by return rather than by force, and most of it happens in the dark, where you cannot see it and cannot measure it, which is exactly why you have to stop demanding proof and simply keep feeding it. The moon gained her light tonight the way you will gain yours, not by straining to be full, but by faithfully returning to the small. So, how do you actually live this, tonight, in a way that finally lets something grow? This is where I want to give you a small practice, one we will return to together, again and again, because returning is the whole point. I call it your one small thing. Here is how it works. Instead of choosing a big transformation, you choose one small thing, so small it almost feels silly. Not I will heal my whole life, but I will place a hand on my heart for one breath before I get out of bed. Not I will become a whole new person, but I will write one true line each night. Not I will fix everything, but I will step outside and find the moon. The rule is that it has to be small enough that you cannot fail it, even on your most tired, least inspired day, because the tired day, the second day, is exactly where growth is quietly won or lost. Then you do 3 things, and only 3. First, you name it precisely. That is Gate 62's gift, so it has edges you can return to. Second, you feed it tonight. You actually do the small thing once, with no pressure for it to feel profound. And third, this is the hardest and the most important, you refuse to measure it. You do not check, tomorrow or the day after, whether it is working yet. You simply return to it, and let the Crescent's slow arithmetic do what forcing never could. That is the entire practice. One small thing, named, fed, and left undug up. Do that, and in 2 weeks, like the moon, you will look up and be quietly astonished at how much light has gathered from something that started so small you almost didn't let it count. So here is your ritual for the growing light, and like the Crescent, it is deliberately, almost stubbornly small. If you can, step outside just after sunset and find the thin crescent low in the west. If the sky is hidden, simply picture that fine curve of growing light in your mind. Then choose your one small thing, the single, tiny, repeatable practice you will feed from tonight. Say it out loud precisely, so it has edges. Name exactly what it is and how often you will return to it. Then do it once, right now. Tonight, small, unhurried, with no demand that it feel like anything at all. And finally, make one promise to the dark, that you will feed this small thing daily, and that you will not dig it up to measure it. If you have a candle, light it as you make that promise, and let it be a small flame on purpose, the same modest light as the moon in the west, and as the beginning in you. That is all. You are not forcing a full moon tonight. You are simply feeding one small light and trusting it to grow. So, let this be the letter you keep from the night the light began to grow. You do not have to force your life into bloom. You do not have to be full by morning, or healed by the weekend, or impressive by now. The moon gained her light tonight the only way light is ever truly gained, not by straining, but by returning, not by forcing the big thing once, but by feeding the small thing again. Your sensitivity was never the problem. Your slowness was never the problem. Your impatience was the only thing standing between you and the quiet, gathering light you were always capable of. So choose your one small thing. Feed it and don't measure it. Let it grow at the speed of a crescent, and not the speed of your fear. You don't have to force it. You only have to keep coming back. Thank you for letting the growing light find you tonight. Over the next 2 weeks, as the crescent slowly fills, we will keep tending your one small thing together without ever rushing it. Before you go, I would love to know, what is the one small thing you are choosing to feed? Leave it in the comments so we can tend it together, and so tonight's light isn't tended alone. And then, gently, come back tomorrow. A new letter from the sky arrives every single day. This was your moon letter. Move gently with the moon, and I'll meet you here again tomorrow.